So here's what I want to talk about today. So, when you're scrolling through Instagram and you'll get to a section, I don't know about what your feed looks like, but sometimes my feed has a bunch of motivational stuff. And then it'll go into kind of sciencey stuff and studies and research and stuff. And a lot of the stuff will kind of inspire me to actually make these talks with you ladies. And I'll always go back and I'll kind of fact check, right? If they're talking about a study or they're talking about a book, I'll go and fact check some stuff. But I saw a reel on Instagram talking about this thing I'm about to go into, a study. And I said, I don't want to fact check this one because I like it so much. I'm going to say it's true anyway. And I know that might sound crazy, but you'll get this when I go into this. So basically, this video was talking about a study that was done. And the study that they said, and again, I did not check this at all, but I like this concept, and it'll make sense. Stick with me here. So the study was talking about how they were testing stem cell production, right? So kind of like the cells in our body that heal us, right? And they were checking that, people who, when you stare directly down at a fire, like at a campfire, and you're directly staring into the fire, they've actually correlated that with an increase in stem cell production and activity. Whereas if they were just sitting around the fire, looking around, they weren't able to register the same type of stem cell production. Now, this might sound really lame and not make any sense whatsoever. How does this relate to weight loss? Well, let me kind of weave this web for you. So regardless of if this study is even real, I really love the idea and the concept behind this. So how am I interpreting this? Well, when you are looking down at a fire, okay, this study says that your stem cells will increase, basically meaning you're healing your body, okay? When you're staring directly down into this fire, okay, you can't see what's going on around you. You can't look out into the horizon, right? And we can, figuratively say that is our future. Future fears, tomorrow, anxiety, our goal is on the horizon. So when you look down into a fire, directly into a fire, you are kind of cutting off the future. And you are only able to be present. And when you are truly present in the moment, according to the study, you can heal. Or you're more likely to heal. And so I think that this is so important when it comes to your weight loss journey. Because if you think about, it's crazy, if you think about all the things that throw you off, if we boiled it down to your own thoughts, is that fair to say? Your own thoughts. How you interpret your progress, how you interpret falling off, how you interpret stress, emotions, fight with your spouse, bad boss. It's you. How you interpreted something, you reacted, and then therefore you acted. And you either acted in accordance with your goals or not in accordance with your goals. And so if we are able to stay present, meaning we are literally taking life 1 second at a time, don't you think that weight loss would be easier? That being healthy would be more enjoyable? Because if we are constantly comparing, or we are sitting around the fire but looking at the horizon, looking around instead of in, well, your goal is always going to seem out of reach. Because it's not today, it's tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day. Either way, it's the future and it's not present. And so what I thought so cool about this concept of the study that they were, discussing is that if you just look down into a fire, if you just live life second by second, or when you're having a hard time with motivation on your journey, or seeing results, or getting yourself to do the things you need to do when it comes to your health, look down, put your blinders on, stop thinking about tomorrow, stop thinking about your to-do list, stop thinking of everything that can go wrong, and stop thinking about how far away your goal is. And just focus on, how do my fingertips feel right now? How warm is this fire? When we can focus on the now, imagine how much easier, not just your health journey, but life gets, right? Because where are all these negative feelings coming from? They're coming from anxiety of the future, regret of the past, fear of problems popping up that aren't even here yet. I deal with so many women who come to me and they're like, I want to make sure that I keep the weight off this time. Cool, love it. I'm all for it. But you know what? Let's focus on problem one, losing the weight. And you're already creating new problems, right? Before we even tackle number one, before we stay present in today, in this second, how do you feel right now? Have you checked in with yourself today? Or did you say, what do I need to get done when I get home? What am I going to eat when I get home? What do I have to do tomorrow? What does my husband need from me? What are my kids doing today on their list? Who do I need to call? What needs to get fixed? Do I need to go grocery shopping? Is that exciting thoughts? Are those motivational thoughts? And yet, that is what happens inside our brain all day long. No wonder motivation is so scarce. For the longest time, I touted that, you know, motivation wasn't the key to weight loss, right? Like, you just can't be motivated 24/7. Motivation's like a roller coaster. It goes up and down. Some days you'll have it, some days you won't. So you cannot wait for it to make the right actions, right? You must act despite motivation, then you'll see results, and that will cause motivation. But if I take this concept that we're talking about today and say, maybe it is possible to almost always be motivated. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not the fact that you're losing motivation that's the problem. Maybe it's the fact that everything else you're thinking about is dulling it. And then you can't find it amongst the other things. Maybe you have all the motivation you'll ever need. Seriously. Maybe you are like super motivated and you don't even know it. Maybe you are super disciplined. Maybe you are super patient. Maybe you already are super healthy, but there's so much we put into our brains that now we're lost. We're in a maze. We can't find it or we can't hear it anymore. You are perfect. And you have everything you need to succeed and achieve whatever it is you're thinking about achieving, whatever it is you dream of or fantasize about. You are complete. You are not missing. You are not broken. There's nowhere to get to. You are it already. It's just there's other things dulling it, making you forget, or making you act out of alignment with that true version of you. And so, we can take this study of looking down at a fire versus looking at a horizon. We can take this literally, okay? And what does that mean? That means go spend some more time around a fire, which I don't think is actually a bad idea because I don't know what your memories are with a fire, but I have wonderful memories around a campfire. The stories, the camaraderie, the feeling, and staring into fire itself is awe-inspiring. What a beautiful thing. I don't even know how you describe fire. An entity, an energy. It's beautiful. It's mesmerizing. So if we literally take this study and choose it to be true, which I do, I choose that this is true because it makes sense for me and my beliefs, then you should go spend some more times around a campfire, telling stories, sitting in the moment, and pushing everything else out of your brain except and letting the natural motivation, the excitement, the discipline, let it flow back to you. Now, if we take this study figuratively and talk about, being present in the moment, same thing applies. What can you do today? What can you do this second to ground yourself, to be more present? Okay, because we are creatures, we were cavemen where we weren't really promised tomorrow. We could be eaten by a saber-toothed tiger tonight. We could freeze to death in the cave tonight. Now, of course, we're not promised tomorrow, but there's a lot less chance that we're going to freeze tonight or be eaten by a tiger. I don't know where you live, but I know that I probably won't. There's a 99.9% chance I will not get eaten by a tiger tonight. So if that's the case, then I need to, outsmart that caveman brain in me where I'm just trying to survive by thinking about the future, preemptively planning these problems so that I can, be okay when they come. I get it, right? Winter always comes. Don't throw away your coat in the middle of summer just because it's not cold. There's a place for that. However, I can almost take a guess with 100% accuracy and say, that you should be putting more work into living in the present moment. I truly believe that you're not incomplete. I truly believe that, as much as we use language like level up and reach our potential and become this better version of ourselves, And I believe that language is important to describe kind of, a transformation that we're going on. But I also believe that you don't need to transform. You don't need to level up because you are already her. It's about getting things out of the way so that you can level up. But by getting the things out of the way, you realize you never needed to level up. You have everything. It's just being dulled and muted. If you can rearrange your life and practice your thoughts in a way where motivation stays the loudest, well, then you're laughing for any goal you have ever. Financial, relationships, health. So I need you to take that thought serious because if we can find a way to always tap into our motivation, every day is amazing. Every day is exciting. And comparison to other people on their journey, fearing the future of what comes next, that fades away. That is not as loud anymore. Our to-do list. We trust ourselves and know it will get done, and so we're not always going through it in our head. We are present in the moment, doing what we know we need to get done. Because that truest, rawest, unfiltered version of ourselves that we're trying to achieve, well, she acts in accordance to her goals already. So she never even stresses about her to-do list because she knows that it will get done in the order that's most important to her. Yet we are out of touch with our gut. Woman's intuition is a thing. You know? When the woman says, "Oh, I knew he was unfaithful. I just knew it was happening." She just knew, and there were no signs, right? We have a special gift as women. We really do. Ryan, my husband, he tells me all the time, and I think it's like the greatest compliment. I love when he gives me his compliment. He tells me, "You're the most in tune person I've ever met." And it took me a long time to reconnect with that. It was not a skill that I practiced and learned. It was a gift that I had always had, but forgot about and didn't nurture. Knowing what feels right, being in a room when you shouldn't be, and you feel bad energy. We all have this stuff, but some of us are sharper or faster. You've just been dulled, and it hasn't been your fault. You didn't know any better. Your parents dulled you. In fact, I had a call today, a one-on-one call with a lady, and she was talking about, I was, wondering, how long have you been struggling with your weight? And she was telling me pretty much her whole life she'd struggled, at least since high school. And, she told her mom what she weighed one day when she was a teenager, and her mom was like, "Wow, that's pretty heavy. You should probably lose some weight." And the mom was good intentioned, but what does lose weight mean to a teenager? How do you do that? I'm not good enough. I'm unhealthy. I don't look good. Like it's just not the right way. And so we've had people with good intentions and bad intentions muting us. You're not good enough. You're not worthy. What's the point? Stay on my level. Don't surpass me. Don't go too far away from me. Don't grow too far ahead of me. I can't keep up. I don't want to keep up. Don't outshine me. Go do good things, but not better things than me. Oh, you struggled, you fell off again? That's too bad. But that makes me feel better about me falling off. This is happening to everybody in your life. There's very, very few people, and if you have them, if you have this type of person, oh my goodness, never let them go, who support you when you win. And they're there for you when you don't. They don't tell you I told you so. They weren't secretly rooting for you to fall off this whole time. Those are the people that are going to help you and contribute to the unmuting of that motivation, of that true you that's always been there. I think true transformation is unlearning and embracing who you already are. And stop thinking that there's this destination where everything changes, where you're finally this strong woman, this confident woman, this sexy woman, this prove everybody wrong woman, this I showed you woman. You can be that right now. And then your body will just catch up later. Seriously. It will just catch up later. So I hope you guys can understand that, or I hope you guys know, or maybe can start to play with the idea that you are like perfect. You're whole. You have everything you need to find true happiness and success. And health is up there too. You have everything you need. Stop thinking about what I need to do, what am I missing, how far I have to go, how hard this is. Stare down at the fire, put your blinders on, and learn to be present in the moment. How can you ground yourself today? How can you bring yourself back to the present when the past upsets you and the future makes you anxious and your goal seems too far out of reach that you don't even want to keep trying for it anymore because what's the point? Or I haven't seen progress in a while, in a week, in a month. Really? 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 Or maybe you're just not looking. Because I bet if I looked and I brought my magnifying glass into your life, I could find a hell of a lot of progress. It's just not the progress you want or you expect. Who said you should expect it? And by expecting it and not getting it, guess what? You've created a further gap and you've muted your motivation yourself. There's progress everywhere. And only when you start to train yourself to automatically find it, or when you can't find it, automatically know that now we have to look for it. If you can start to train yourself that way, then you literally are always seeing progress. Do you think you will ever stop your weight loss journey and your health journey if every day you had multiple wins and signs of progress? Would you ever stop? Absolutely not. Never. You would never stop being healthy. You would love being healthy. It would be a game to figure out how many wins you have. It's a habit you need to start practicing. So that's what you can do tonight. Being present in the moment is grounding yourself in your emotions and realizing I have everything I need. Let me tell some stories around a campfire. Let me be in awe of who I am and how I am and what I'm feeling. And let me find my wins. So that my motivation, my excitement, my progress becomes the loudest thing in your mind. You cannot expect to be on this journey if you do not enjoy it. And you cannot expect to enjoy it if you don't see progress. And you can't expect to see progress if you're not looking for it. And you can't expect to look for it if you don't redefine what progress is. Because for so long and for so many decades, it's just been, did the scale drop? The scale will drop. It will always drop. It will follow your mind. It is a side effect. So redefine what progress is in your life. And just being in the present moment is also progress. So use that little tip, and I promise, you will feel completely different about this journey, and life will be lighter. And that's what I want for you. It can be really heavy sometimes, and it doesn't have to be. Sometimes there's heavy things we can't avoid, but sometimes a lot of the heaviness comes from ourselves and how we're tweaking things and looking at things and holding burdens on things. Because as women, we take things on. We hold on to everybody's emotions. We take that leadership role, and we don't want people to know how we're feeling and that we're breaking in the background. You don't have to do that. This is a safe space. And if you I promise, working on making that motivation louder, then the heavy stuff, way less and way less hard to carry. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you got any value at all, I'd love it if you left a 5-star review to help more women find this podcast and get the support that they need. And if you're looking to speed up your weight loss and take your transformation to the next level, then head on over to Trimera.com. TRIMMERA.com. I'll catch you on the next episode, and welcome to your Trim Era.